Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the WrestleDude YouTube channel. As today we have some more WWE 2K22 news to talk to you about. If you guys are excited for the game, let me know in the comment section below, because today we are going to be diving into their roster report video that literally just finished up a couple minutes ago, and I got to watch it live. And during this, I saw a couple tweets beforehand saying that there would be actual gameplay, an actual match taking place. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm in, because I have criticized the past couple trailers and like news releases, just saying like all this stuff is either like cutscenes or like really spliced together or cinematic looking. Like, I just want the gameplay that we are going to be playing ourselves. I want to see what that looks like, because WWE 2K20, the gameplay, obviously we know how bad the gameplay for that was. So I wanted to see what they did differently. I wanted to see what it would look like with us playing the game, and obviously I wanted to see some other like little bits and buttons and stuff like that all throughout, kind of getting me more excited for the game. Um, and I'll be honest, after watching this, um, let me give you my notes through all this. And if you follow me on Twitter, then you'll probably have already seen this. But um, yeah, while watching this, there were some clips and such giving us a better look at some other superstar models, you know, the likes of Booker T, Goldberg, Asuka, Seth Rollins. I believe I saw Drew Gulak, which looked pretty good. But yeah, when we got into the actual gameplay, they showed a match, or at least parts of a match, between Damian Priest and Rey Mysterio. And the first thing that hit me was the camera angle. The camera angle is very close, you know, like from years past, like the camera was sort of like zoomed out a bit, almost like it was the hard cam, but now it seems like the camera has been zoomed in very, very close, whereas like beforehand, like the camera angle would sort of like show maybe like a little bit of the front of the barricade. Now it's just right up against, it seems like right up against like the side of the apron of the ring, which, to be honest, I don't really know if I like that. Obviously, just from the first look of it, it does look very strange. So obviously, you got to get used to some stuff that's very, very strange, and that's kind of par for the course in WWE. You got to live with a lot of weird changes, you know. But yeah, that was just kind of the first thing that jumped out to me, as like, this camera angle just looks very, very strange, because they say like with these WWE games, they go for realism, they go for the same feel of like WWE TV. Well, WWE TV, I mean, then again, I haven't watched WWE TV in like, aside from NXT, I haven't watched like Raw or SmackDown or any pay per views in a long time. So I don't know, maybe they have changed the camera angle with it, but I don't think the camera angle has changed to where they have a camera right up against the ring apron. But who knows? I could be wrong in that. Moving on a bit, we got some action in the ring, which for the most part looked pretty smooth. You know, there was maybe like a couple instances where like the stuff looked a little bit like wonky, but I mean, it's nothing really major. One thing I did want to note, I actually didn't have it written down in my notes here, but I did notice it. There was a point in the video where they brought up how they worked on like the physics of like weapons and lighting and hair. And during the maybe they just picked a wrong clip, but during the hair part, they showed a clip of them like testing out the hair physics on Bianca Belair, and like she did her hair flip, and then like the hair just suddenly hit like an invisible wall or something like that. Maybe it was just because that was just simply the box that they were working in, and that's all they were looking at. But I mean, just it was just a very weird, like badly timed clip in my opinion, just to say like we've been working on the hair physics and then showing a clip where the hair just like stops immediately. I don't know, it just seemed very weird to me. But yeah, moving on, we had some more gameplay in that matchup, and at one point I believe it was Rey Mysterio tried to pin Damian Priest, and this was the first like gameplay wise look at the new pinning system. Why did they change the pinning system? There was nothing wrong with the pinning system before. The bar goes around, you stop it when it gets to the. Now it's like a button mashing thing where you have to like mash A. Like, that's so dumb in my opinion. Like, I don't know, maybe you guys might feel differently. Let me know in the comments, but changing the pinning system from just a simple one click to tapping is just so dumb. Like, the submission system I can understand, you know, submission system, like before, like it was that weird like battling half circles or semicircles or whatever. You had to like go around and try to make your opponent tap out. And then they had the option to go back and forth from that to the button mashing one. I 100% immediately switched to the button mashing one, because for submissions, you know, submissions button mashing makes sense. You know, like it's a battle of like, you know, who can press all these buttons all at once. For pinning, it just seems like, you know, it would be a lot better to just have that one click button right there, and maybe sometimes have like that little sliver of green to kick out, or at the beginning of a matchup have that very wide bar of green to kick out. But changing the pinning system to this button mashing is just a bad idea in my opinion. And I would hope that maybe there's an option that we can switch in between, but that brings me on to my next point. They started going over some of the control changes and stuff like that, and never in this section did they talk about being able to remap the controls, or the option to like set your controllers to a different set of controls. So basically what they've said is we've changed the controls, and if you don't like it, tough, which very much sucks. I just don't know why. Like, they changed the controls before in WWE 2K20, and they were fine in 2K19. I don't get why they changed them for 2K20, and now they changed them again for 2K22. And, you know, it just sucks that they've done these, what I would call unnecessary changes. You know, you didn't need to change the pinning system. You didn't need to change the regular like control mapping. Like obviously there's like this whole thing about like blocking and dodging, which I mean, if you wanted to still do blocking and dodging, like before, the reversal button, it was just like, what was it, R2 or something like that. So tap R2 for just reversals, and then you can hold R2 for the blocking. Like, that's basically the same thing that they're saying here, is like triangle, you tap it to reverse, you hold triangle to block it, and then for dodge, it's like triangle plus like a direction, you like quickly matrix move out of the way or something like that. That could have easily just been like click R2 and hold a directional button. Like, I don't get why the heck we had to make it triangle and stuff like that. Like, it, the more I talk about this, the more annoyed I'm gonna get, just because I think it's just a stupid decision to change the controls to what they say is to make it easier for new players, but you know, I'm fairly certain the people that you gotta worry about are the people that, number one, were playing your game before, and number two, were not enjoying playing your game before. And the way that you do not get people to want to play your new game is making things a hell of a lot different, to the point where it seems like they have to learn it all over again, where just in 2K20 we had to learn new controls, and now we have to learn new controls. It's just bad move in my opinion. But yeah, they did show off some of the blocking and dodging mechanics, which I will say does sound a bit interesting. They said that it would work like towards like small attacks, running attacks, and stuff like that. So I think that could be interesting. Especially the dodging mechanic. Like imagine someone running at you for like a super kick, a running knee strike, or a spear, and then you quickly like dodge out of the way. I think that could look pretty cool. We didn't, from what I saw, we didn't see any of that in the gameplay, but I am interested to see how that pans out. Now, if you thought I was being a little bit hypocritical, or not hypocritical, very critical of stuff so far, oh boy, do we got another one for you. There was another point where someone made a pinfall in the gameplay footage, and we saw the referee making his count. That referee was making the slowest count ever. It was like 1, 2, 2, like it seemed very slow, you know. Like I don't know. From what I remember from like the 2K19 referee count and even the 2K20 referee count, it was not that slow. There was not this like dramatic pause in between. Like it was just 1, 2, 3, and I don't know if they changed that for there to be like more of a like better timing for like the mini game, the button mashing mini game, but it just seemed very weird to me, to be honest. I don't know why they have seemingly changed the referees like counting sound or counting animation. I don't know, it just seemed very weird. But to move on to some more positive stuff, there were points during this gameplay where certain moves and certain moments would trigger these like camera cuts to be like closer to the action, which I do remember being in games past, and I actually did like that. They did look very nice, you know, like the camera would sort of zoom in on like pinfalls and such. It would sort of have like the characters in focus, the background out of focus. I do like that sort of stuff. That seems pretty interesting. Even more camera stuff that I thought was pretty cool was once the action sort of spilled to the outside, the camera sort of rotated like to the side. I did think that looked pretty neat. And also, it seems like they've sort of changed up how characters will interact with their surroundings as it pertains to Irish whips, because Rey Mysterio Irish whipped Damian Priest towards the ring, but as he did it, it was sort of an animation where he was aiming him for the ring apron, not tossing him back into the ring, so Damian Priest's ribs hit the side of the ring apron. I did think that looked pretty cool. There was also like a moment where Rey went for a suicide dive. Animation looked pretty smooth. I didn't see anything really wrong with it. And then, yeah, we go back into the ring. Matchup continues, and Rey Mysterio wins with what I believe is a new move. It was like he was standing on the top rope, and then he did like a spring around, did like a Starship Pain type maneuver, and he got the win off of that. So yeah, pretty good there. Another thing I wanted to mention, which I'm very excited that they confirmed, was the Thunderdome. They showed off more of Rey Mysterio's entrance, and they did a nice little pan wipe, and they showed that the Thunderdome arena is going to be in. And they mentioned that we will see some familiar faces in that crowd. So this was actually something that I think I put up on Twitter, where if they do have the Thunderdome, it would be pretty cool if they did a sort of like Easter egg thing where they sort of have like some of the developers and stuff like that as some of the faces on the Tron. So that's pretty cool. I was interested to see if they would have the Thunderdome included in this year's game, just because like, you know, we are a little bit of a ways away from the Thunderdome era, but I do think it's important that if we want to play out some matches in sort of like that Thunderdome-ish area, then I do think it's important to have that, because like they say, like with these games, they try to replicate what is on WWE TV. It would just be very weird for them to just gloss over what was a very big part of WWE TV throughout the year of 2020 and 2021. So yeah, it was very cool to see the Thunderdome finally confirmed there. And the last note that I had for this gameplay footage is they showed off like a split a split clip from My Rise, which shows your characters, your default male and female characters, talking to two coaches. And it confirms, at least for My Rise, I don't know if they'll be playable characters, but we have coach version of Shawn Michaels with the really short hair, and a coach version of what who I thought was Beth Phoenix. I could be wrong. It could be somebody else, but to my knowledge and my first glance, I thought it looked like Beth Phoenix. So that's cool that we at least have them confirmed as coaches. Who knows if we'll be able to play as short-haired Shawn Michaels? Who knows if we'll be able to play as bald Shawn Michaels or Adam Pearce, as some people like to say, especially with that action figure that came out. But yeah, that's all the notes I have from this news video. Overall, just some really, like, I'll say this. The stuff that I thought was bad, I thought was very, very bad. The stuff that I thought was good, I thought was fairly well. And you know, the camera cuts are cool. The Thunderdome being confirmed is cool. Shawn Michaels and Beth Phoenix being confirmed, at least for my eye, seems cool. But you know, weird camera angle, changing the controls, changing the pinning system, referees animation, you know. I will say this, the models for the characters did look good. That was another positive from this. I didn't see any weird looking models, and I was keeping a close eye on that Booker T model, especially in the face. Trust me, we know the WWE 12 model of Booker T. We remember. But let me know what you guys thought in the comments section below. We're still on the road to 2K22, and you know, this year might be the first year that I just say no thank you to any WWE 2K games. So I'll see what my thoughts are going further as we get closer, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Will you be pre-ordering 2K22? Are you excited for it? What did you like, disliked from this video? Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.